Hello and welcome to another web edition of Q's Countdown alongside Adam Unger and Matt Wieselthier. I'm Nick Dugan. Guys, after seeing the new look in orange in action for the first time on Friday, which player impressed the most in their 2016 debut?
Nick, I was most impressed by true freshman running back Mo Neal. He started off buried on the depth chart. However, he ended up leading the team in rushing yards, 9 carries for 71 yards, a huge touchdown that really brought momentum towards Syracuse in the game, and I'm really looking forward to what he can do for Syracuse in the rest of the season.
I think you're missing the best newbie that was there on Friday, and that's Amba Etatawo, the Maryland transfer wide receiver, now for the Orange, coming into his senior year. And look, I mean, he was phenomenal on Friday. 12 catches, 210 yards. The connection between him and Dungy, already great. It's going to be great for the new Dino Babers offense.
No doubt some strong offensive performances for the Orange on Friday. But last weekend, there was another ACC member who was doing some big things, putting up some big numbers a little further down south, and that is Lamar Jackson, sophomore quarterback for Louisville, 17 for 23 through the air, 286 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's half as many as he had all of last season. He rushed for another 119 and 2 touchdowns, and that was all in the first half. So guys, I've got to know, if you're an opposing defense playing Lamar Jackson, which is more dangerous, his arm or his legs?
If I had to choose one, I would have to go with his arm, because if you try to cover deep, he'll throw short and he'll scramble. If you try to go long, he'll throw short, he'll scramble. Listen, you got to protect the arm, otherwise you can't contain him.
Yeah, and you're right. And Syracuse's secondary not good last year either. 100th out of 127 teams. Look, this is an SU secondary that wasn't good last year, returning basically all the same guys. If they're not able to play coverage, guess what? Lamar Jackson all day.
No doubt a strong performance from him, but it was against a slightly weaker UNC Charlotte team. Are you guys sold on his production? Is he going to be able to sustain this throughout the heart of the ACC season?
I mean, not 100%. You're mentioning that UNC Charlotte team, and look, I mean, they went 2-10 last year, gave up 73 points to Middle Tennessee. Not exactly your best team. So look, I mean, they're okay stats if you look at it that way, that they weren't able to give up 73 points. That being said, the Louisville offense, great. They were great last year against Syracuse. They should be great again this year with an even better quarterback. Instead of Kyle Bolin starting for Louisville, it's now Lamar Jackson.
I know UNC Charlotte isn't exactly the strongest team, but I am absolutely buying into Lamar Jackson. Even at the end of last season, he had over 200 passing yards and over 200 rushing yards in a bowl game against Texas A&M. If he can put those numbers up against A&M as a freshman, I don't even want to think about what he can do as a sophomore. Very, very dangerous player.
So what, if anything, can the SU defense do on Friday to slow down Lamar Jackson?
The defensive ends have to be focused on containing on passing downs, and if they run zone, you have to keep a linebacker in the box and keep him from scrambling. If you force Lamar Jackson to beat the Orange with just his arm, the Orange has a chance.
Well, they also played a very similar quarterback last week in Colgate's Jake Melville, and that was a dual-threat quarterback, and they limited him passing to 10 for 22 through the air. He wasn't able to develop any running attack either. So if they're able to do that again with Lamar Jackson, they should be able to have success. It's a lot more difficult, though, with a Colgate quarterback in the FCS compared to Lamar Jackson in the FBS with Louisville and ranked team.
No doubt the Orange would love to duplicate the success they had last Friday. Guys, coming down to the wire here, but before we go, I need your keys to the game. Adam, we'll start with you.
My key to the game is going to be establishing the running game. Against Colgate, Syracuse could afford to not establish the running game, but if you take away Mo Neal's 149-yard touchdown run, Syracuse didn't average 3 yards per carry on every rushing play, regardless of the player. In order to open up space for the wide receivers in Dino Babers' system, the running game has to be in the forefront. You have to force Louisville to account for defenders in the box.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. It's really just this two-headed attack. They need to establish a running game. Last week, Eric Dungy threw a career-high 40 passes. I don't think he's going to be able to do that again for success against the Louisville defense. Whereas Syracuse, they have 3 great running backs that they can use. Dante Strickland, Jordan Fredericks, and Mo Neal. And of course, if they want, they also have Irvin Phillips, who they tried a couple times running out of the backfield. They have a lot of talent in the running game. If they can do that along with the passing game that they already have great wide receivers with, look, they can stand a chance in this game if all of it can go together.
And guys, it's barely September, but we're already talking about the Orange's first ACC matchup when it's all said and done on Friday. Who comes out on top?
I can say that this game could be close, but Lamar Jackson was too great last week, and Louisville together was too great. I have the Cardinals winning 42-17, And look, no matter what the Orange does, I don't think they're good enough yet in this Dino Babers offense. He was saying that it was still so slow. I don't care how fast you play. They're not good enough to face against the Louisville Cardinals just yet.
I agree with you. A little higher on offense. I'm going 49-24 in favor of Louisville. I absolutely agree with all of the points that you have made. Lamar Jackson and Louisville are going to be able to control the tempo if their offense is clicking, and everything runs through Jackson. If they can do that, the defense will be rested, and the Orange, being the new fast, might not be fast enough.
So our analysts predicting that the Cardinals come in and defeat the Orange on Friday night. We'll have to wait and see. That's all the time we have here in the Citrus TV studios. For Adam Unger, Matt Wieselthier, I'm Nick Dugan. Have a great night.